What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video previewing tonight's game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens in Toronto. Of course, Montreal starting off the season with an overtime loss. They are 0-1. Toronto Maple Leafs start 2-0, 2 victories to start the year for them. It's always good to get your first 2 wins under your belt, and then, now it's a back-to-back. The Leafs played last night, defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1. It's always good to get those victories, so that way on a back-to-back you at least have that cushion of being able to win those games. Of course, with Frederik Andersen playing last night, it's likely that Michael Hutchinson will get the start against Carey Price tonight. The Habs are looking for a bounce-back win here. Losing in overtime is never fun, and they have a pretty solid team this year. There's a lot of additions to that team, including Nick Suzuki. Of course, he's a guy that came up and has made the team, and he's a young guy. They really want to see him perform, so I'm excited to see what he can do against the Toronto Maple Leafs. But of course, as a Leafs fan, I want to see the Leafs win this game. So basically, this is a rivalry that everybody loves to watch, and people will say the Habs versus Leafs rivalry is over. This is never going to be as intense as it used to be. There's no real bad blood there, but you know what? There'll always be that bad blood, especially because the fan base, especially the older fan base, they still think it's a huge rivalry, and hopefully it can be reignited, because the Leafs and Habs are two of the most important franchises in NHL history. And again, I'm not trying to say like, oh my God, they're the be-all end-all, but we're talking teams that have been around since the beginning, man. Like these are original 6 teams. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna play the game of their life every single time they play each other, because the fans love it. It's hockey night in Canada, Saturday night hockey. You want to see some intense battles out there, and I think the Habs have something to prove. Last year, the Habs didn't make the playoffs, obviously. But here's the thing, and I meant obviously not in a mean way. I'm just saying obviously because they just weren't in the playoffs. The Habs weren't that far back, as there's noise going on in the background. The Habs weren't that far back from the Leafs last season. It was like a 4 to 6 point gap between the Habs and the Leafs. The Habs were a team last year that nobody really expected to be that good. I remember at the beginning of the season, Neil and I made a video around the July 1st time when the Leafs signed John Tavares, and we both sat there and discussed, not this July 1st, a couple of years ago, and we discussed like that the Habs were fried. Like this team looked like they were going down. They weren't playing up. They weren't going to play up to par with a lot of teams in the NHL, but they proved a lot of people wrong. And now it's like this year that they've improved. Like they've got young guys there that they want to stick around. Bergeron's been active trying to make things happen. He tried to sign Sebastian Aho. He tried he didn't try. He got the offer sheet, but it obviously didn't work out. They tried to get Gardner. They were in on a bunch of moves trying to make trades happen. And with this core that they have here, they've got a lot of guys that play with grit, with skill, guys that can really score. And, this Habs team shouldn't be taken lightly. This year they're out to prove something. And, the same goes for the Toronto Maple Leafs. First round exits are following them everywhere they go now, because that's all people want to talk about. And the Leafs have something to prove. They want to make sure that they go out there on a Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, and defeat the Habs on a back-to-back to prove that they're one of the better teams in the NHL. So the rivalry, to me, is going to be reignited. I think Max Domi will help that cause. He definitely has said stuff outside of the arena, talking about how Montreal's the best place to play in the world, after he said that about Toronto years back, of course. But regardless, he's trying to ignite something there. There's always going to be that real connection between the Leafs and the Habs, and I think that this is just another chapter in that story, and I can't wait to watch. Like I said, though, there could be some roster moves. At the time I'm recording this, I'm not sure if guys are going to be out from the blue line. Like there could be a swap with Marincin and Hall, or maybe Sandin comes out, or who knows. You guys watching this might know. I might put it in the comments just to clarify. But the only time I had to record this was after the game last night, so it's still the. Like, technically, I'm recording this right after the Leaf game from last night. So if something happens, all we know is that Michael Hutchinson should be the starter, and that's the biggest change. We're going to see if he can handle the crease for the Leafs in his first real test against the Montreal Canadiens. I'm excited to see it. Hopefully you guys are too. There should be another video uploaded before the video that's going to be up after the game. Maybe we'll see how it plays out. There will be a review after the game, but I'm talking in between. There might be another video posted. But again, let me know what you guys think. Make sure to predict the score, as always, down below in the comments. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers. If you're not a fan of the Leafs, make sure to check out all my other videos. I talk about all NHL teams. And I'll see you guys after the game tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game. Peace.